So my sister and I just got back recently from an 11-day trip in Scotland, and I'm about to show you exactly how we did it, the route we took, where we stayed, and what's actually worth your time versus what you can skip. This isn't going to be one of those dreamy montages where everything looks effortless, because planning a trip like this takes real work, and I want to show you the actual process. You're going to see our complete itinerary and how we structured 11 days to hit all the major spots without rushing. I'll walk you through the accommodations we chose and why the timing that worked best for each location, and the logistics that made this whole thing possible. You'll get the honest take on which places lived up to the hype and which ones surprised us in ways we didn't expect. I'm also going to share the planning mistakes we made so you don't have to repeat them, and the discoveries that we made that completely changed how we thought about Scotland. So if you're considering your own Scotland road trip, or you're just wanting to see what 11 days of sister travel actually looks like, this is everything you need to know. Inverness, we drove from Aberdeen Airport, which is about 2.5 hour drive. It is beautiful, in and out a little bit of rain, but all beautiful, and we're excited to be in Inverness and check it out. We're going to go get dinner and kind of see Inverness before it gets dark, and then we have not slept very much and we're just gonna relax after that. For the 11 days that we are in Scotland, we are going to Inverness, we're going to Loch Ness, Orkney Islands. We're also going to Isle of Skye, Glencoe, and kind of Glencoe area, as well as probably a few mystery places. We have a few days where we have nothing planned, and we're excited to kind of keep those open. And then lastly, we're in Edinburgh. Welcome to day 2 of my sister and I's 11-day trip through Scotland. Day 1 yesterday was arriving in Aberdeen from our flight from London and then from Chicago as well. So we spent most of the day flying and traveling, but also picking up our rental car and driving to Inverness, which was about 2.5 hours. And then we kind of spent our evening wandering around Inverness and checking it out, having dinner at Victoria Market, which was incredible and had such a different variety of foods and restaurants that my sister and I thought were really good. It is now just 8 in the morning in our Inverness morning. I got up early to go take some photos of Inverness. The sunrise is going up and my sister is getting ready. So now we are going to head down for our breakfast at our bed and breakfast. And then our plan is to kind of go to the Battle of Culloden and another place I'll put on the screen because I forget the name at current. And then we're gonna go check out Loch Ness. And our hotel tonight is headed up to Orkney Islands, so I'm excited to head there and explore for the day. We're now at Clava Cairns, which is about 5,000 to 6,000 years old, where 1 or 2 people are buried in each of these formations. And yeah, so we're here checking this out, and it's also only about 20 minutes from downtown Inverness. And then you can also, probably only a few minutes from there, we're gonna go to the Battle of Culloden site. Correction, Clava Cairns was about 4,000 years ago. When you come to Clava Cairns, it is free to enter, and it's basically open 24 hours. There is a car park in front of it too. It's relatively big, so you can come by for a quick stop or to check out the different spots in Clava Cairns. From Clava Cairns, you can also head to the Cawdor Castle, which is only about a 15-minute drive. So I would say Cawdor Castle, Clava Cairns, and Battle of Culloden are all near each other. And if you're staying in Inverness, you can easily do even all 3 in the day. at the Cawdor Castle and Gardens. There are two different gardens you can go to. There's a walled garden that is from the medieval times, and you can walk around that, and there's a few different spots, and it's beautiful. And then there is another part of the garden that we're going to check out next and head inside the castle as well. We're back in Inverness for a little bit for lunch and getting that, as well as went to Leakey's bookshop, which I think is one of the largest secondhand bookstores in Scotland, but also maybe in the UK. And I could have spent hours and all my money there. It was really cool. So if you're in Inverness, I highly recommend going. We have made it to the famous Urquhart Castle, and don't come for me if that's not the correct way to say it, but we have made it here and are looking at the most beautiful view of Blackness. And I do recommend coming to check out the castle if you are in Inverness and looking to do a day trip to Loch Ness, or if you're spending a few days in Loch Ness. Good morning from the beautiful Scotland. We are headed up to the Orkney Islands today, and we are so excited. We are headed up to our ferry, our 1:30 ferry, and are driving along the coast for about 2.5 hours from where our Airbnb was tonight. And we'll catch the ferry and head to Orkney Islands for this afternoon and for a couple days. Or in the northern part of Scotland, or just headed up to Orkney Islands. It is beautiful right on the coast, and it's probably about 0.4 miles from the car park. We've made it to the ferry at Gills Bay and are just waiting to get on the ship to head over to Orkney Island. I think it's only about an 1.5-hour ferry, so it should be really pretty to see the different islands, and the sun is out and we're excited to head there. Orkney Islands. We got off the ferry just a little bit ago, which was very smooth and easy, and it was beautiful coming in. It's about, I think, hour and a half to get from mainland to this island, but now we're here in Kirkwall, and we're going to check out, maybe get dinner in a little bit, but we're also at the Earl and Bishop's Palaces, which are stunning. They're so cool. They're cool to see how intact they are, even though they don't have a roof. But to see that these were built in the 1100s and how intact they are, it's cool to see. One of the things to do on Orkney Islands is to go to the Stones of Ness, which is over 5,000 years old. Now we're at the Ring of Brodger, which is also the stone circles near the other stones that we were just at, all within maybe a 2-minute drive of each other. Good morning from a sunny Orkney Islands. It is day 4 of our Scotland adventure and we have woken up on the island of Orkney, and today we are going around to as many of the sites that we can see today. There are a lot of very old prehistoric sites to see that my sister is really excited to go check out, and so that is our plan for today. Our first stop of the day is at the Unston Chambered Cairn, which is about 5,300-year-old Neolithic tomb. And you can just park right here and just walk down the pathway, and it is right there. Alright, we've officially made it to Skye, which is probably about 5,000 years old. I do recommend getting a ticket ahead of time because they usually sell out for this. We got it ahead of time. It's with the Explorer Pass as well. So if you get the Explorer Pass, it's included in it, but either way, to get your ticket ahead of time. Skye was a village that was inhabited for about 600 years, about 5,000 years ago, which means that this is older than Stonehenge and the Great Pyramids in Egypt. Now we're in the town of Stromness, which is also probably a point that you came in from the ferry. It's either this one or where we came in, which was St. Margaret's Hope. So we're gonna go check it out, maybe get some lunch or coffee, and see if we can find some souvenirs while we're here as well. We're now at the borough of Beersay, and I'm probably saying that wrong, and it's basically you can come to an island during low tide because there's a path that becomes available to walk across and go on. So I highly recommend that because there's a car park, park your car, and then come across all the way up to this little island. So I am so excited, and sometimes there's known to be puffins, so fingers crossed that we see a puffin while we're here. This spot on the Orkney Islands has so far been my favorite. I can't believe that you get to come over to this island during low tide and be able to come on it, and there's barely anything here. There's a town or church that was built in the 1100s, but there's so much more history even before that of people settling here on this island, and getting to see the coast right behind me on mainland Orkney this is beautiful. We've now made it to the Broch of Ness, which is an ancient village that was home to a thriving Iron Age community back in the day, and you're able to you have to buy a ticket for it, or it is included with your Explorer Pass if you get that. I have to say the Broch itself is beautiful and stunning, and to learn about the history of it, but it's also near the most beautiful blue water along the coast here. Good morning, day 5 of our Scotland adventure. We are at the ferry. We have an early 7:15 a.m. ferry on Orkney Islands to get back to mainland Scotland. So it's about an hour and 15-minute ferry. So we'll be able to watch the sunrise and the surrounding islands going back, which coming here was beautiful. And the plan for today is to drive to the Isle of Skye because we're staying there for the next couple of days. But we're planning to do some stops along the way. There's a couple castles that we want to stop at and a few other towns that we drove past that we want to stop. Otherwise, it's just going to be a day of, I think, seeing where we kind of also want to stop. There's, I think, going to be some beautiful lochs along the way and cute towns. So we're just, we have to get to Isle of Skye, but, before we can't check in to our bed and breakfast, but other than that, we don't have much planned and are excited to explore from Orkney Island all the way to Isle of Skye on the other side. Just arrived at Dunrobin Castle, which is about an hour and a half from the Gills Bay where we got off the ferry and are stopped here. This is a privately owned castle, so it's not part of the Explorer Pass if you have it. And I think it's partly as old as 1275, part of it when it was built. So we're checking out the inside and the gardens as well. Good morning. It is day 6 of our Scotland adventure. We woke up in the Isle of Skye today. We're staying at this really cute bed and breakfast that I think part of the house is from the 1700s as well. And today we're going to go around and explore Skye because we have sunshine. So we're going to see and do as much as we can, and we're so excited. We have made it to the ferry pools in the Isle of Skye. We are going to be hiking. I think it's about a couple-mile hike and not much elevation gain, which will be great. There is a car park, as you can see behind me. It does cost a couple of pounds, but it does get you to the trailhead for the ferry pools. Alright, so the ferry pools are beautiful. If you're coming to the Isle of Skye, I highly recommend coming. This is truly beautiful. Even if it's not on a sunny day like we have, I guarantee you it's going to be beautiful. You have the most crystal clear blue pools, and if it's not too cold, you can even get in them. We are now at the ferry Glen. There is a decently sized car park, but not super big, so you might have to wait a little bit for a spot, and you do have to pay for it. But the hike itself is really only about a mile long to the ferry Glen, so I would say it's a bit of a shorter hike if you're looking to do one in the Isle of Skye. All right, so we've come to the lookout point that has a lighthouse that is very famous on the Isle of Skye to eat our pizza and watch the sunset. Another good morning from the Isle of Skye. Today we are headed to some of the things we didn't get to yesterday around the island, and we're excited to kind of see the rest of it. And we have sunshine again, which is amazing. On the hotel. We've come to Portree, downtown Portree, because we needed to do some laundry, and there is a hostel that does offer laundry, coined laundry, which is really great. And we're also going to kind of see some of the different cafes and shops and kind of check out downtown Portree. And Portree is so cute. You can come just across the way to get some photos of the colorful houses. I'm here doing the Old Man of Store hike on the Isle of Skye in kind of the northern part. It's a couple-mile hike with decent elevation gain right at the beginning, but there's supposed to be some of the most beautiful views and a popular hike. Just about finished with the Old Man of Store hike. I truly loved it. It is a tough one. It's only a few miles up, but it is a lot of elevation that pretty much the whole time, but it is truly worth the view. When you can get to the top and see the whole valley and Old Man Store, it's worth it. But oh, it was so cool. We're at the Eilean Donan Castle, which is an hour outside of Skye, and we have come to tour the inside and the outside of the castle. And it was actually destroyed by the British after the 45 many years ago, but was rebuilt in 1912 and I think finished maybe 20 years later. Good morning, it's day 8 of our Scotland adventure. Today we woke up at a bed and breakfast near Eilean Donan Castle, which we went to at the end of our day yesterday after spending all day in the Isle of Skye. And today our plan is to go to Glencoe area as well as the viaduct / train that is prominently featured in Harry Potter movies. So we are doing all of that as well as driving a little bit south and staying at a kind of Airbnb cottage a little bit closer to Edinburgh. And yeah, we're excited to explore today. Today is the first day we woke up and we didn't see the sun, as well as we might have some rain. So we are getting lucky that this is really the first time we're having this on our Scotland adventure. We have now stopped at the Glenfinnan bridge. That is also the famous Harry Potter bridge. There's a viewpoint that you can walk to, and it's probably about a 15-minute walk. And the train comes by twice a day, usually at about 10:45 and then 3:10 p.m. in the afternoon. So if you want to see the viaduct when the train goes by, I would come in the morning and then afternoon. All right, so we've made it to the Glencoe area that we are driving through. I guess it's kind of the valley that it has so many really beautiful points that you can stop at along the way. Unfortunately, this is the worst weather we've had on day 8, but can't complain too much, but it's still really beautiful. Good morning, it is day 9 of our Scotland adventure. Today we woke up in a small town about an hour and a half outside of Edinburgh because we are checking out some castles and doing some castle hopping today before we stay at a castle ourselves tonight. All right, now we have come to the Midhope Castle, also known as the Outlander's Lollybrook, which some of the Outlander fans like my sister and I would know about. All right, we are now at the Blackness Castle, which has stood guard over the Firth of Forth for more than 500 years. It's really beautiful because it's right on the water, and it is part of the Explorer Pass as well, if you do get that, which again, I do recommend getting if you're coming to Scotland. It just seems to pay for itself after 2 or 3 different stops. Good morning from day 10 of our Scotland adventure. Today we woke up in the Traquair house, which was a really cool experience to be able to wake up and experience a house like this, such a historic house, without any of the other tourists. There's only 3 guest rooms total, and you're able to explore the grounds in the evening or in the early mornings. So that was really cool to be able to experience and have that as well. The room, there's a famous room in there that actually Mary Queen of Scots, her last night in Scotland before she headed to England, stayed here. So it was really cool to be able to have that experience. We've officially dropped off our rental car and are going to be exploring the city for the next 2 days. We're hoping that the rain stays away, or at least long enough for us to go explore and can rain when we're doing indoor things. That's pretty. We are taking a stroll on the Royal Mile. It is a great place for shops and restaurants, and at the kind of top of it is where the Edinburgh Castle is. And then if you keep walking down, it gets definitely less touristy, and the crowds dissipate a little bit, which is really nice. Now I am headed to do Arthur's Seat. I'm excited about it. It's going to be quite the climb, but also I've heard gorgeous views of the city, and the sun has come out for us this morning. So we're going to head to do that. And my sister is actually doing a museum that she really wanted to do. So we've split up for a little bit to do both of these things.
While we're looking.
You're going
Good morning from a rainy and gloomy Edinburgh, Scotland. This is our last and 11th day in Scotland, which we'll be spending all day in Edinburgh. I'm now at the Vennel Staircase, or the iconic Vennel viewpoint in Edinburgh. It really is beautiful to come up the stairs and get a photo of the Edinburgh Castle and some of the just really beautiful old streets. So if you're able to make the stairs up, I recommend it. I'm now on the famous Victoria Street that was built in the 1800s and is iconic in so many ways, and is really beautiful. And I'm here at sunrise and there's hardly anyone here, so I definitely recommend coming early to be able to experience this when it's a little quieter. So that's our 11 days in Scotland. Honestly, one of the best trips we've ever taken. If you're planning your own Scotland road trip, I hope this gave you some real insights into how to make it work. The biggest thing I could say is don't try to see everything in one trip. We definitely packed a lot in, but that's because we knew this might be our only chance to go to Scotland together. And if this helped you at all, let me know in the comments what part of Scotland you're most excited about, or if you've been, what I should have added to our itinerary. And if you want to see more sister travel content, make sure to subscribe because you're already planning our next adventure. Thanks for watching, and happy travels.